Hello, this is Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, undefeated mixed martial arts fighter, lecturer, speaker, and coach. I'm coming to you right now because I'm getting ready to release my book, Coffee with Rhadi. Um, in the past 10 days, I've had an amazing and tumultuous life. I For any of you who follow my career, you know that I've had multiple injuries, knee injuries, shoulder injuries. I've won multiple championships. I went to the Olympics. I've gone to the Pan American Championships where I've medaled. I've traveled all over the world. I've trained people who have gone to the Olympic Games. I've coached at the World Championships in various sports, judo, grappling, etc. But I have never been on a roller coaster ride like I've been on in the last 10 days. One of my one of my one of my one of my best friends recently died of cancer. 27 years old, an only child, and I was asked to serve as a eulogist for his memorial service. Now, I have lined up at the Olympic Games. I fought on Showtime, on live TV. I've sat in a chair and watched one of the athletes that I've trained walk out to the Lions Den at the World Championships. I have been in some high level situations, and I don't think that anything was as difficult as delivering the eulogy at my friend's memorial service. It was so overwhelming that I don't even, you know how you hurt yourself when something happens and you're too in pain to even cry. That's the type of pain that I had, and that's the type of pain that I still have right now. And after the eulogy is over and I had to get back in my car, I had to travel 4.5 hours back home, and my back was hurting a little bit from sleeping at an air mattress at one of my friend's house. And I said, no problem. I get in the car and I go home. I went home and I went from my back hurting to laying down on my floor at my house and not being able to get up. I had to call the paramedics, not once, but twice. I called the paramedics, went to the hospital, came back home after getting on some meds, and woke up out of my sleep. Back hurt again. I couldn't move. I've never had a situation like that. I ended up going to the doctor's office, multiple doctors. I went to one of the doctors who serves as the orthopedic surgeon for one of the professional teams in the area in which I live, and I ended up I got problems with my L4, L5, disc herniation. L4 is 1.5 millimeters forward, L5 is 2.5 millimeters back. I have what's called a pars process fracture. I have a fracture in my back. I have a disc that slides. I have what's called spondylolisthesis. I didn't know I had any of this. Bottom line is, doctor, physical therapist says, judo, MMA, BJJ, forget about it. To which I said, no problem. My physical therapist asked me today, she said, what do you want to do? I said, let me tell you exactly what I want to do. I want to set my daughter up on the counter, and I want to back up 2 feet, and I want to say, Rhadi, jump to daddy, and I want to catch her. I said, that's it. I said, if you can get me to do that, I'll feel like I'm an elite level athlete. I said, I want to be able to go out to the park and play with my son. The rest of it, I can coach, I can drill, and I'll be okay. She said, Mr. Ferguson, we can do that. I said, fantastic. The news in and of itself would have been devastating, but in comparison to what I've been dealing with, piece of cake. I went from losing one of the I would say one of the friendship pillars in my life to experiencing partial paralysis to standing in front of you today. I mean, my back is hurting, but standing in front of you today in some pain and actually speaking to you. And the reason why all those things are amazing to me, because my friend can't speak anymore. And before my friend died, he stopped speaking. And before he stopped speaking, he stopped walking. So I found myself going through these emotions while all this stuff was going on, because it was like I felt where he was coming from. You know, my when I was going through all this, my wife was out of town, my kids were out of town, there was nobody here, I was here by myself. And I was on the floor, because I was trying to get back to my bed, and I couldn't make it to my bed, and I was on the floor, and I was on my back. And I remember grabbing my cell phone, because I had my cell phone in my pocket. Thank God I had my cell phone in my pocket. And I looked at my cell phone, and I said, all right, I got 2 bars left. I was looking to see who I could call and seeing how much time I had to call. So the first person I called my wife. I called my wife, and then I called 911 to come get some help. And I was on the floor for about 90 minutes. And during that time, I started thinking about what was important, and what I needed to do, what I was called to do, what I'm chosen to do. What if I can't walk anymore? And do I actually need to do another Ippon Seoinage? If I don't, will I be okay? I started thinking about everything, and after my family came back home, and I looked at my wife, looked at my kids, and I said, this is the most important thing that I have, along with my support staff, who I call my friends. And I have been dragging my feet on releasing this book, Coffee with Rhadi. And I told myself, I said, man, I gotta release this book, and I gotta get this book out. And the reason why I was dragging my feet, I'll be honest with you, because there's no money in selling books. All right, I don't care what people tell you. Unless you're a New York Times bestseller, there's really no money in making a book. You spend more money in getting the book made, and then you make a small margin when it's on Amazon.com or something like that. But there's no money in making a book. Okay, I do speaking engagements, and I want the opportunity, I would like to have the opportunity to leave something with the people that I speak with. But more importantly, I was influenced to finish the book because I think that everybody has a message that they have to get out. I think everybody has something that they need to say to someone. I hope that my friend that passed, and I'm not saying his name out of respect for his family, his privacy. I don't know if this would have been his wish, so I'm leaving his name out of it on purpose. I hope that he got out everything that he needed to say. I mean, he was 27 years old. I don't let a day pass right now without telling the people who I love that I really love them. If you're on my Twitter feed and randomly I tell you that I love you on Twitter, there's nothing wrong with me. Okay? I'm okay. I just think that sometimes people need to hear the word I love you, meaning the phrase I love you. And I just don't think that we say it enough. And with that being said, when this video shuts off, you need to call somebody and just say, hey man, I just want to let you know that I love you. They say, what? No problem, buddy. Talk to you later. And then leave. And tell people why they're here. Because time's going to come when you're not going to be able to tell people. And I know this at 37, but it doesn't hit you hard until somebody in your age group But somebody who's young, who that happens to. Um, I didn't want to get that deep into that. I want to tell you that my book is coming out. It's getting released. And I wanted to kind of share with you some of the things that have been going on in my life in the past 10 days. And it has been phenomenal would be an understatement. Before I get off of here, I want to, back is hurting. I want to share with you my book, Coffee with Rhadi. It's on Amazon.com. You can go on Amazon.com, or you can go to coffeewithrhadi.com, and you can buy it there from my personal site. But I'd like to read to you the first couple pages. Well, one page, maybe one, maybe two, whatever. But I'm going to read to you the preface. The book has 16 chapters. The chapters are, first chapter is Learn How to Win. Second chapter is Embrace the Fact that you will have to and that you will need to do homework every night. Chapter number 3 is Putting the Extra in order to become extraordinary. Chapter 4 is Wearing the Right Shoes, understanding the difference between encouragement and support. And chapter 5 is Why Sometimes All You Need to Do is Show Up. Chapter 6 is Understanding when you reach the point where you must admit that helping you is killing me. Chapter 7 is How and Why You Need to Lay Aside the Weight. Chapter 8, How to Place Yourself in a Position to be Helped. In chapter 9, the importance of properly categorizing your relationships. In chapter 10, how and why most people lose instead of win. Chapter 11, how to take responsibility and make things happen. Chapter 12, why you should experience the benefits of stretching. Chapter 13, get the full understanding of how to eat an elephant. Chapter 14, understand that you are perfect, even with your imperfections. In chapter 15, understanding what it is to be led and to be fed. In chapter 16, the key to winning in the race in life. The preface reads, first and foremost, I want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the opportunity to spend some time with me. I'm being completely honest with you when I say that I wish I could personally speak to each and every one of you who are reading this book, but unfortunately, that's not possible. What I do want you to know, above all else, is this. In the same way that I have a message to share with the world, you do too. The world wants to hear from you. In your uniqueness, you have value and something important to share. Share it. Do not take the gifts that God has given you and cover them up. They are valuable. And do not allow your fear of your gifts to stop you from sharing them. Share them. You are not like anyone else, nor are you supposed to be. You are an amazing individual. And maybe, just maybe, you need to pass that message on so someone else can know that they are amazing too. It is my fervent hope and desire that the words and the messages that I'm presenting to you in this text impact you. I hope that this book will serve as an agent of change for you and allow you to do more than you thought was possible, achieve more than you thought was attainable, and experience more than you imagined was allowable. My wish is that you live life to the fullest with no regrets. This is Dr. Ferguson. I'm a 2004 Olympian. I'm a lecturer, a speaker, a coach, an educator, and more importantly, and most importantly, a husband and a father. Take care, and please visit www.coffeewithrhadi.com or search Coffee with Rhadi on Amazon.com. Take care and have a super fantastic day.